Good morning. Welcome to the Wake Up Flow. And to my fellow veterans, happy Veterans Day. Thank you for your service. We're going to do an elemental practice today in Eastern philosophy and traditional Chinese medicine, rather. We speak of something called the 5-element theory. And to the Western mind, we can probably think of it most simply as the interconnectedness of things and the cyclic nature of things. We see that play out in nature primarily through the seasons. There's an element connected with each of the seasons, and in the Eastern movement traditions, we had a 5th season. We have a late fall, in addition to just our regular autumn. And we have elements associated with all the seasons, and those elements correspond to colors and tastes and organ meridians, and pretty much everything in the world is described around the 5-element theory. So the practices that relate to that are generally tied to organ meridian systems in the body. As we move toward the winter season, we move toward supporting the kidneys and bladder with the water element. So the practice today for our members a little later this morning will be a very water-focused practice. We'll do just a few forms this morning. But let's begin as we normally do, warming up just a little bit. Put your feet about shoulder width apart, knees nice and soft and bouncy. Upper torso erect. You can imagine your head being pulled up by a string, and that will tuck the chin back just a little bit. And then just let's stand. Close your eyes for a moment. Begin taking some deeper breaths. Taking the breath in through the nose if you're able. And then breathing out through either the mouth or the nose. And just sort of do a little check-in with yourself. How are you feeling? Up, moving around. We want you to leave these quick 15-minute sessions relaxed and energized. So let the eyes come back open and begin turning the upper torso from side to side. Just letting the arms kind of organically come along for the ride. Keeping the feet rooted to start. And pick up a little bit of a rhythm here. And close the hands into loose fists and begin tapping on the lower belly and lower back. A couple of acupressure points here, waking up our energy center, our lower dantian. Body temp up just a little bit, get a little fluid moving in the joints before we start. First 2 forms today actually come from the animal world. A very ancient set, probably been around for some 2,500 years, called the 5 Animal Frolics, Wushin Qi, where we do movements imitating 5 animals. And we're going to pull 2 forms from the bear today. These are forms actually originated in the Kung Fu tradition. Qigong, actually the parent of all martial arts, Kung Fu and Tai Chi, both derived from Qigong. There are different types of Qigong. And in the 5 animal frolics, 5 animals, and each one of them 2 movements per animal. We usually begin with the deer, and we proceed through the deer, the tiger, the monkey, the bear, and the crane. Let's bring our front hand up the body a bit and tap into the little hollow space formed where the shoulder meets the chest. If you're unsure you're tapping in the right place, you can just take a pause. Put your fingers on your sternum and then just walk them over, and they're going to fall into a little hollow space there. That's our knock point. There are several tapping disciplines out there. One you may have most familiar with is EFT. And this is one of the knock points in EFT. I tap here to relieve stress and anxiety. When we do tapping in Qigong, it's generally based around the acupressure points and the meridian systems. This point would be the end of the lung meridian. The lungs associated with the metal element. Most of the lung practices feature very powerful breathing sequences. Today we'll focus on the water element as we kind of work our way toward winter, perhaps looking forward to seeing our first snow flurries tomorrow. As temps start to drop today after the rain moves through. And now let's let the arms go a little ragdollish. Open up the hand and let that top hand slap over the top of the shoulder. Still keeping the feet firmly rooted, turning from the upper torso. And this feeling will play into the first 2 movements where we're going to be turning from side to side, but we are going to be turning from a very wide stance. So when you turn, only turn as far as you can go without letting the knee collapse. And let's come back to those loose fists and work our way back down. Now begin to shift your weight consciously from side to side. And the little extra momentum here of the side-to-side movement should cause your feet to roll from the inside to outside. Nice little sequence for building strength and flexibility in the ankles. In turn, promotes better balance, which reduces the risk of falling. Reduction of falling risk, one of the benefits always called out in studies of the benefits of Tai Chi and Qigong. And let's finish our working our way back down by coming back to the lower belly and lower back. Really accentuating that weight shift. And now let's turn that tap into a reach. And as you reach across, let the momentum pick the trailing heel up. Now instead of working side to side on the foot, I want to push off, getting the length of the foot, starting on the heel, rolling through the midfoot, coming off the toe. Now let's slow this down and begin to shrink the movements down. Work our way back to our neutral starting position. And then let's connect to the breath with a little silk reeling. So let's put a palm out front. Breathe in, pull that back along the body, spiral the hand in the back, and let the back of the hand float forward as you breathe out. Breathing in and breathing out. Just letting the body follow the breath. When movement and breath come into harmony, some really important activation of the parasympathetic nervous system. We also see this when we breathe deeply and put additional focus on the out breath. And you can almost feel this in a very simple exercise. Put one hand over your heart, take a deep breath in, and then slowly exhale. So maybe a 4 or 5 count breath in, and then exhale for a count of 7 or 8. You can actually feel your pulse slow as you breathe out. Let's get ready to come over to the other side. Breathing in, breathing out. This is a variation of a series of movements called silk reeling. Silk reeling features very prominently in Chen style Tai Chi. And let's take a couple with both hands here, breathing in, breathing out. One more time. Turn the palms over in the front, let them float down. And then just a couple of times. Palms up, palms floating up. At the top, elbows get heavy, everything melts down. Breathing in as we rise and expand. Breathing out, relax and release. One more time. Let's move to our forms. Toe heel out to a little bit wider stance, or you can just simply step out to a wider stance. We want our feet pointing forward if it doesn't cause any pain in the knees. If it does, turn the feet out just a little bit. Sink the body down. A little tension in the legs. Arms float up, palms facing the ceiling. Bring your elbows in just a little bit. Breathe in, and then as you breathe out, turn to one side. Stop. When you feel your trailing knee begin to collapse, that's the time to stop. Breathe out, come back to the center. Breathe in, turn to the other side. Breathe out, come back to center. This move comes to us from the Kung Fu tradition. It's called the bear turns, from side to side. Breathing into the center, breathing out, a little stretch of the lower back. Should be able to feel that stretch in the kidney area of the lower back and a little stretch of the lumbar spine. One more time to each side. Inhale back to center, and then fold the hands in and let them press down. Stay out wide. Hands come back up on the side, palms up. And then as we breathe out, sink down. Let a hand trace and hover on both sides of one leg. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. You don't have to come down as deep as I'm coming. Or if it doesn't cause you any pain and you have the flexibility and strength, by all means, come deeper. One more time. Breathe in as we rise, and then breathing out. The hands fold back in as we toe heel back in to hips width. Hands float up in the front as we breathe in. Go ahead and spin that ball we've got here. Now, your fingers are pointing one direction. We're going to carry the hands the other direction. Spin the ball. Carry them all the way back across. Spin the ball. It's a variation of a move called cloud hands, where we've got the palms facing each other, the two lao gum points, the hands facing each other. And you can breathe in across in one direction, breathe out as you return. We'll do just a couple more because we've reached our time. One last spin. Let's bring it back to the center. Spin the ball one more time. Flatten the palms and let them float down. And we close. Breathing in. Hands turn over at the top. Palms press down. Let's do that one more time. And then center the energy back in our lower dantian. Let the hands come together, hand over hand. Bring your feet a little closer together. Close your eyes and let's take 3 deep breaths. One last deep breath in. As you release that breath, let your hands release to the sides, open your eyes, give everything a little shake out at the bottom. Thanks for joining me for the Wake Up Flow. We're back in a few hours with a full session of 5 elements flow. Have a great day. Namaste.